I'm gonna tell you how an average girl stole my heart. But before I begin, I want to start with the story of me, right? I grew up without my father. I met him one time when I was in when I was in the first or second grade. We went to McAllister, that's a prison in Oklahoma, to see him. And the first time I saw him, I was like, Dad, Dad, it was like this. It was a beautiful moment, because I thought other dudes was my dad, but they weren't my dad. Anyway, make a long story short, I saw my dad for the first time. It was really exciting. It seemed like McAllister took forever to get there. We kicked it. He picked us up. Him and my mom, they were like talking more. He seemed more interested in my mom than us, than the kids. Conjugal visits and shit. But anyway, um, I was just so excited, and in my neighborhood, there was one or two fathers, but it really wasn't a lot of fathers in my neighborhood. So I really didn't think about what it was like to have a father, or I didn't feel like anything was missing. My dad, he would send us little African dollars and stuff like that, and the little money he made from the prison yard to buy me some Payless shoes or something like that, and I was excited for the shit. You know what I mean? But I never really, got that bond. When I was 17, make a long story short, I'm 17. I'm working at this theme park, Frontier City, Oklahoma City, and this girl come by. She's light skinned, high yellow, fine girl, right? Like beautiful, beautiful. And she came to me, and this is the first time this ever happened to me in my entire life. Like this had never happened to me before. She came up to me and she was like, "Are you African?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Are you Nigerian?" I'm like, "The fuck?" "Yes." "Why do you say that?" She was like, "I could tell by looking at your face." Now, I grew up in an all black neighborhood, 99.9. We didn't see no white people. White mailman came through, he got shot. No more white mailman. All black people, east side, Oklahoma City, the hood. Whoop, whoop. But so for her to call out my Nigerian features, it was shock to me, right? And I'm like, "You light skinned? What the fuck?" We got a phone number because this is a Mac back then. Anyway, got a phone number. It turns out she's Nigerian, right? And so I'm talking to her, and she's like telling me about her dad. My daddy, he made some tongue. And I'm like, "Daddy, he made some gold." And I'm like, this is my first time really, having access to uh, African culture like that through her, and I'm asking her, I'm like, "Can you talk to your dad? I want to talk to your dad because I want to know about myself." You know what I mean? I want to know about who I am, where I come from, what my tribe is like, what my people is like. I want to know everything I can. I want to know everything I can know about my people, where I come from. I'm half Nigerian. I never thought about that. You know what I mean? There's another side of the country, the another side of the world. Do I have peoples that's just as close as me as my aunties, my uncles, my granny and stuff like that? I just want to know about who I am as a person. She was like, "Nah, like I'm fit." She was 15 at the time. I was 17. She was like, "Nah, my father, I can't be dating, woo, woo, woo." So I couldn't. And me hearing me hearing her say no, it kind of like made me upset on the inside because it was like I was like, I don't have access to my father. But I was like, my father is alive. I mean, he was in Nigeria because he got deported, but my father is alive. And I was like, I just got upset. Like, why this nigga ain't never called me? You know what I mean? I know him and my mama had issues, but why this nigga ain't called me? Why this nigga ain't like been around? He didn't write nothing. I know this nigga in Africa or whatever, but like at least hit your boy up or something, call whatever, right? So I'm upset, and I guess my mama heard me like cussing at him or something, but she was like, one day, she was like, "Hey, your father's on the phone." I'm like, "Hello?" He was like, "Isaac, how are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing good, And I was like, "Why ain't you never call me? Why ain't you never whoop, whoop, whoop?" He was like, He was like, your mother. I said, this ain't got nothing to do with you and my mama. This about me. he was like, he was like, Isaac, I apologize. I can't, my African accent. Isaac, I apologize. He had a real smooth voice. Isaac, I apologize. You know, I'm sorry. I will make an effort to try to be in your life. I'm like, cool. Right? And it just, I got off the phone, kind of happy, talked to my daddy. And, I grew up in the hood and was poor all my life. But I was like, I got married, all that stuff. And I'm like, man, as soon as I get some bread, I'm going to go to Africa. And it's going to be like this big ass thing, right? Like, Color Me Purple, where you have, she opened the car, she got come outside, and it's all these Africans in, like, Toby Goshi, whatever that nigga name is, robes, like, in the sunset, and my dad was gonna come and to put me up, like, on the Circle of Life, you know what I mean, on a big hill, the Circle of Life, you gonna put me up, and, like, all the animals was gonna, like, bow down, and all my African folk, cousins and shit was gonna, like, be, like, all excited and stuff. So before I went to law school, I had told my ex-wife at the time, I'm like, man, listen, I'm trying to save up to go to Nigeria, you know what I mean? And I got a divorce in my first year of law school. I was broke. I didn't have no money. My father died. So I was just like, it was like a dream. It was a dream that I had my entire life. There was no longer a possibility of that happening for me. You know what I mean? So emotionally, I was a wreck, right? Because here it is, I just got divorced. That's difficult within itself. And then on top of that, my father just died. And met this girl, when I had first started law school. We met up. She said she wasn't wanting a relationship. I'm like, cause niggas always trying to get in a relationship. Can I just chill? Can I just experience life? I was like, yeah, girl, you can experience this dick. But we would just chill, and everything would just be, it would be cool. It would be no pressure to be in a relationship, and we just, shoot the breeze. She tell me about her dating relationships. I tell her about mine. We'll fuck, whatever. Sex wasn't even that good, right? It was just like more of kicking in and fucking. But so my father died, and I remember just like being an emotional wreck. You know what I mean? Just feeling all this pain. And I called baby girl because, like, I was fucking with a lot of girls, like having one night stands and shit like that. But she was like what my homeboys call my foundation, you know what I mean? And I called her and I'm like, hey, can you come down here? I'm a little bit like weak, you know what I mean? My father passed away. That was a dream. She drove from New Orleans to Baton Rouge and, came through, and she came, in my apartment, cooked me some food, gave me massages. We maybe fucked a little bit, but she was just there for me emotionally, you know what I mean? And I think that I would say for men, something that's valuable is your emotional, your emotions. So I would say that, like, emotions aren't something that you just give. Your vulnerability, that's not something that you just give away to any female. I would only give that to a female that's trusted, that's earned it. But for the women, if you can create a safe space to where your dude is comfortable grieving, expressing his sorrow, his pains, his hurt, his dysfunctions, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever. If you create that safe place, that's a way to a man's heart. Now, me and that girl, we stopped fucking with each other maybe like a couple years ago. She hate me now. But I still have a special place in my heart for her because she was there when I was emotionally weak. She didn't clown me. She didn't make fun of me. She just, gave me hugs and shit. You know what I mean? And I think for men, that's important. Men don't be going around doing that like, you meet a new girl, your father died, you better tuck that shit in, nigga. but for women, if you can create a space to where your man can be comfortable telling you anything, that's a powerful thing that most men don't ever get to receive without feeling judged. So create that environment, create that safe space. That's how Average Girl stole my heart. All right, Lapos Logic, y'all tell me what y'all think. Peace.